Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Save Your Sanity series, the series for saving time and getting shit done. Today we have a very special guest with us. We have Nicole Smith from the Artisans Business Solutions. Nicole works with small businesses to review their practices and develop customized strategic procedures that save time, reduce costs, support positive business performance, and ultimately design the business that aligns life you want to be living. Hi, Nicole.
Hello, thank you very much for having me. I'm really excited to be here as part of your community and have a chat today.
I think we've got some really, really good tips coming our way today. I know we've been chatting today and previously, and everything you say, it's just like, yes, let's do that. That's so helpful. So we have a few different tips today, don't we? We got your top 5 tips for getting your business life under control, don't we?
Absolutely, yeah. So when you approach me about what are the best things for time management to get you back under control, remove that overwhelm, get some structure around it, I'd put together these sort of 5 top tips that I genuinely, share with my community and my clients that are really beneficial and will help you get on your way.
Good. So the top one, understanding your work rhythm. What's that about?
So, okay, so when you hear rhythm, you automatically think music, but what we're actually talking about here is understanding when is your most productive working zone. So some of us, like I know Lizzie yourself, you're a morning person, you get up super early and that's your most productive zone. So that's fantastic. You already have identified that. And when you're looking to plan your day, you know that that is the area where you're going to be most efficient and most productive. There's other people at the other end of the scale where they're night owls. So you'll see them online till midnight or beyond, and that's their most productive zone. And so understanding, being very honest with yourself and understanding when your zone is and where your work rhythm is actually going to support you to be able to design the way that you work on a daily, weekly basis so that you're not fighting against the grain and it doesn't feel natural for you. So that's what we're talking about with your work rhythms.
Because it's not exactly, especially as business owners and people potentially working from home, like the two of us, 9 to 5 isn't really a thing anymore, is it? It's not reality.
No, not at all. And especially, I'm here in Victoria at the moment, so we're in stage 4 lockdown. So we have two little kids here under 5. My husband's working full time. I'm running a business. So it's just, being aware of where your work zone is, but also what's going on in your life right now and adjusting the way that you design things so that, you're setting yourself up for success and not for failure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know for myself, anything that happens after about 4 o'clock is not my finest work. So I'm ahead of the curve on tip 1. Yes.
Absolutely, big tick.
Yay, go me. The rest of it, I need the rest. So the next tip is declutter your task list using the 4D method. What's that?
So, okay, so this method, it's a really simple and easy method that you can use when you're looking through your emails and when you're then moving across to your task list. So I know task lists can become quite an overwhelming thing to maintain and can become a massive list, and it just becomes very overwhelming. You don't want to be in there because you actually don't know where to start. So using the 4D method, you're going to just clean that really frequently. So you know that the tasks that are remaining on that list are your really key, chunky, important tasks that you need to prioritize. So I'll run through what you need to do. So the first thing is you do. So anything that you identify that can be done quickly in 2 to 5 minutes, get in there, get it done, respond to it, action it. So it's complete. It's off the list. That's one more thing that's gone, which is great.
I have to say that those tasks are the one I leave till last. So like I'm of the feeling that I let them all build up, so I just smash them out all at once. But I think perhaps your way is better of actually just doing them at the time rather than letting them pile up.
Yeah, so we'll talk about, we're going to talk about time blocking in a little bit, but when I do this particular exercise, I do it in my sort of administration block. So I know that I've scheduled time to be able to declutter my emails, declutter my list, so that you know that it's okay for you to do those tasks. I think a lot of the time we're questioning, oh, but I should be doing X, Y, Z, where it's just as important to get those little things off. I actually had a good conversation the other day with someone about if those little tasks are sitting there, by you not doing those tasks, who is it actually impacting? So, you know, if you have a team, for instance, and they've sent you a, can you please do da da da, and you just sit on it, that team member is going to be sitting there going, why aren't they doing that tiny little task?
Sure.
So, yes, this is benefits all around.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's D number 1 is do. What's do number 2?
Do.
I mean, D
Delete.
number 2, delete.
D number 2, delete. So, as I said, this task list can become very overwhelming, and all the little tasks there that are screaming at you because you haven't completed them can actually become quite stressful for you if you like to achieve and you like to get things off that list. So, and I know as business owners and entrepreneurs, we are very creative people, and we have these amazing ideas and concepts that just pop up at any given moment, and we chuck them on the list. However, sometimes they're not all in alignment with what your focus is for the moment. And having them there, as I said, can just give that little extra bit of stress. So when I say delete, I mean remove them from your main visionary list there. Put them into a wish list, or put them into another subfolder that you know is really important, but you don't need to be looking at those right now. It's not in your focus. There's also things there that, you know, could have been a great idea at midnight when you woke up and your mind's like your little monkey mind's going, and then you've revisited it and you're like, oh, actually, that's not going to work for us.
Those things you come up with at the pub, not necessarily the best ideas.
Maybe not. Sometimes they are, but not always. So yeah, just getting them off the list is a bit of a rejuvenating, recleansing activity to do.
Sure. 2 Ds down, 1 more D, 2 more Ds. What's the next
2
one?
more Ds. Delegate. Oh goodness, delegation. I am such an advocate from it. You know, whoever speaks to me, I'm always talking about delegate, delegate, delegate. Now, people think that they can only delegate when they have a team working for them, but that's really not the case these days. There are so many amazing business owners. If you look just in your community, there will be so many providers there that will be able to help with a myriad of different areas and functions in your business. Could be from bookkeeping to social media management to, you know, VA services, all of those things. So having the identification of those tasks that if you were doing them, you're not really working in your genius zone, and you're really not giving yourself the opportunity to add the value to your clients or the growth of your business that really you could be doing. So that's to delegate.
Delegate, I like it, because that was the first thing. As soon as it said delegate, I'm like, oh, but it's just me here. I can't delegate to my 3-year-old. She doesn't care. That does sound, yeah, you're absolutely right. And I mean, we're all part of groups, business groups that have, you know, I'm looking for XYZ service, and then like 50 of those types of people pop up. And it doesn't necessarily have to be expensive, or if it is an expenditure, it's an investment in being able to focus on the tasks that you do best, would you say?
Absolutely. If you think about the time that you may be spending on a task that you're not really maybe the most efficient at, think about how much time that's taking you. So for instance, like MailChimp, right? That's not always everyone's cup of tea. They're not experts at that, but there are people that are experts at that. So something that might take you 20 minutes could take someone 5.
Sure.
So that 20 minutes could be spent on something else that's, you know, more revenue driven or customer focused, or, you know, something along those lines.
It's very tempting. I like that. I'm thinking of all the things I would outsource, including ironing, child minding.
Absolutely. No, but that's right. It's not just about the business tasks, you know, like when it's not lockdown, I have a cleaner that comes in every week and helps him with the cleaning, because I know that, you know, my time is better worth spent in doing whatever else it is doing, you know. So it's not just refined to your business tasks. Absolutely.
Yeah, because that's, I think, as small business and entrepreneurs and people who are working in relatively small operations, like we're balancing all of it at once. It's not just what we're doing in the business, because the business is 24 hours and our lives are 24 hours a day as well. And it's just finding ways of working all of that in together, I guess, is the key.
Yeah, because we haven't started our business to be working hard all the time, right? So I know for me, it's about designing a life that will be fabulous for my family and for me. You know, that's the one of the reasons why I started my business. So if you're working harder all the time, and don't get me wrong, I know that there are elements where you do need to be right in and working hard. I'm not under any illusions, but if you forward think, where do I want to be and what is that going to look like, then that will help you really be clear about, okay, this isn't where I need to be working, this is where I need to be working.
Yes, please.
One
more thing. What's next on the D list?
So, defer. And what I mean by defer isn't don't do it. It means these are your key, bulky, chunky tasks that are your business growth or your client activities that must be done. So these are the things, if you're in your email, for instance, and you've done the other 4 Ds and you come to this one, you need to pop that onto your task list. So as you are prioritizing, you know that that is a really important chunky task that needs to be completed.
Yeah, defer and procrastinate are not the same thing either. For anyone unsure.
No, exactly.
Oh, so the 4 Ds, and we will have, Nicole's provided an amazing download. So that's going to be on the website from Thursday. So if you're unsure of any of those, you'd like to revisit it, it's going to be on the Write It website as part of our blog, and transcript and video. It's all going to be there. Next one, you kind of alluded to it earlier. The next tip is all about time blocking.
Time blocking, yes. So if you imagine, you know, if you had the world was endless and you could design that your day the way you'd like to work, we introduced time blocking. So we've already identified if you're a morning person, an evening person, so you know what your working rhythm is. You have an idea of the type of tasks that you need to complete because you're looking at your task list, you've done the review, all of that sort of thing. Now we're looking to allocate time within your day so that you know exactly what type of tasks you're going to be doing as you go through the day. So there's different sort of categories. You've got like deep work, creative thinking time, personal is very important. The first thing I say to my clients is your non-negotiable items are the first things that need to go into your diary when you're planning your time blocking. So you know, if you've got Zoom class, like exercise class, I say Zoom classes at the moment because that's what we're all in, but you know, Pilates class online, you know, that's really important to continue up your exercise for your mental well-being during this time in particular. Going and collecting your kids from childcare or from school, you know, that's, can't really leave them there. So that's pretty important. We want to have that in there. I know. And your breaks as well, like your lunch break. I'm sure it's not uncommon to be at your desk all day and forget to eat. So putting those things in your diary, it's allowing yourself go, okay, cool. It's time for me to go and actually have a break and have a lunch break. I also suggest as well, in between each of your categories, to have a little bit of a transition time. So it doesn't have to be long. It could be 5 minutes. You could have a longer one, which is 10 minutes. It just allows you to get up, walk away, and rejuvenate yourself so that when you come back to your desk, your mind's fresh and clear. You might have gone outside, got some fresh air, got some sunlight, got a drink of water, coffee, come back and you're ready to tackle that next task. Your brain's on and switched on and ready to go.
That sounds good. My my little watch here tells me to get up every hour, and sometimes I obey it, and sometimes like I cannot. I am literally in the middle of a thought. I need to keep typing, and then another 2 hours has passed, and I don't think you're probably at your most effective when you haven't actually moved a muscle for several hours at a time.
We think we're invincible, but really you know when you're not doing your best work, and it's a lot of the time it is that fatigue, and it's that I've got to keep going because people are relying on me and I've got to do it, whereas you've really got to, it's like put your oxygen mask on first. It's just keeping that in mind, because if you're not rejuvenated, if you don't have your oxygen, you can't give to the best of your ability as you would like to.
True. No, you're absolutely right. I'm going to have some serious words with myself about about all of this, basically. But that one in particular, because yes, food for thought, definitely. What about removing distractions?
Removing distractions, right? So when you are working, you've got distractions everywhere. At the moment, we've got kids at the moment at home, so that's a distraction. Unfortunately, there's not too much you can do about that, apart from plan your day around that type of thing. So if you know that you've got online schooling, for instance, you can actually plan around that. So that there are times, and it might be that you have to become an early morning person for the next 6 weeks in Victoria, so that you can really get ahead of the game with that sort of thing. But ultimately, close down your browsers, close your email, turn your phone on silent, turn off your notifications, like all of these things that are, that's a no-brainer, but actually do it. Put that energy into, I am working on this now, and I don't need to be distracted, because if I'm working on this, and the next thing we're going to talk about is something that's going to support this, which I might actually just talk about because it's relevant. So the Pomodoro method, which is a method about working in sort of sprint blocks. So with Pomodoro, you have a timer, you set 25 minutes, all the distractions are off. So everything is turned down, no notifications, you set go, and you focus for 25 minutes on the particular task at hand. Once the timer turns off, you get up, you walk away, you have a break for a few minutes, you come back, reset it, and off you go again. And you do that 4 times. So that's a Pomodoro sprint block of the 4 25 minutes with the tiny breaks in between. At the end of that, you have a longer break, and you can actually go back in for another set of 4. And you can work the whole day like that if that's something that sits with you and you react well to that. But yeah, that's a good little tip. I find when I'm in that zone, if you haven't tried it, all I say is just give it a go and see how you feel, because I know for me personally, I get amazing results when I'm working in that zone.
Sure. Do you, in theory then, if you're doing 25-minute blocks, would it be each block is working on the same thing, or would it be different things, and you can like circle back to the first one again, or how would you approach it?
It really depends. So it depends on how. So this is complementing the time blocking that you've already done.
Yep.
So you're just working through your day. So if you've got a project that might take you, I don't know, 5 hours to do, but it needs to be done, then you're working on that 5-hour block through the sprints.
Gotcha. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, things are going to get organized around here.
Yes.
Oh yeah. I think every time I come away from speaking with you, I'm like, oh yeah, that's good. Yep, try that. Yep, I can try that.
Yep.
Because I suppose the more organized you get, the less clutter there is in your brain, and the less time you spend thinking about how you're going to do stuff, and just go ahead and do it.
That's exactly right. And also, you talk about the little mind pops that happen. You might be in this zone and this, good, that happens. Have a notebook next to you and a pen, or I use Slack, or I've got my ClickUp, and just quickly note it down, get it out, and focus back in. Don't let yourself linger and go off on a tangent outside, because that's what you're thinking of now. You got to get it out, and you can come back to that. Like, that's fine at the end of your sprint when you've got time to allocate to that. So
Yeah.
that's part of that, removing the distractions. That's a massive one that people happens to people. You know, you
Yeah.
get that, oh, I've got to do whatever it is.
There's so many distractions available to us, like aside from our phones, which, yeah, okay, you can put it on silent. I have my phone on silent when I work, but the screen's facing up, and that's enough for me to like look over and, oh, I've got a thing. So like I found I need to, at the very least, turn my phone over. And I've got a function on my computer that says, that's called focus, right? But it still lets pretty much every Facebook notification through, but nothing else. So I really struggle to ignore it. So yes, closing down the browser seems like something I should have been doing a long time ago. But let's see how many at the moment. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 separate browsers open, all with different tabs within them. Mostly because I don't want to lose my place with each project that I'm working on. So I see the value in closing all of that. I'm really going to struggle to do it, but I think it's definitely worth giving it a go.
And it sounds like, you know, the other thing that when I'm talking about task management is having one central location. So I use ClickUp. It's like Asana, it's like Trello. They're all very similar. It's very personal preference. But so if you're using your browsers as your to-do list, which sort of sounds like it, you know, moving them into a central location like that, and you can have your notes and you can have your links and everything all in one location, you won't have to keep all of that stuff open. So you go into ClickUp or whatever you choose. That's the task I'm working on. There's the information I need, the links, and then focus on that. Finish, close it down, go to the next one. Ooh.
Yeah, that's a totally different way of approaching it. Is that like, that's my lack of organizational style, is just, yep, that's that project up there, and that has this Facebook page attached to it. Oh, and here's all my research along in different tabs, and oh, here's the tool that relates to that. Yes, there are improvements to be made.
And all of this is like not an overnight fix, right? No. So it's understanding how you want to work going forward and creating a habit about it, right? So you know that it's going to benefit you in the long run if you invest that energy in making that a habit. Awesome. You know, giving yourself a reward of, without having all of those multiple, tabs open, it's going to allow you space to be able to really focus in on what you're doing and remove that a bit of overwhelm. Because every time you see a tab, you're like, just gotta. Yeah. Well, you don't need to. You need to focus on the task that you're working on right now.
Oh, Nicole, I'm so glad you exist in the world. Really, just knowing you exist and you're doing this for people. So this is your business, isn't it? This is what you do for people every day. Is you sort them out.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Yeah, and it's. So I do, this is just one element of, it's just a process. That's, if you think about it, that's all it is a step-by-step process of how you're going to manage your time. Sure. And I look at bigger, wider than that as well. So it's workflows and systems and how we can introduce simplicity and efficiency into your businesses so that you're removing the overwhelm and the stress and everything that comes with being a business owner and a family member and a person in life. We want to be able to enjoy our time, not be, losing sleep over, elements in your business that you can have control over.
Yes. And I think you and I will be having a conversation after this about how you can whip me into shape, because yes, you've just described me to a T, feeling a little like, I've got all these projects, I'm overwhelmed and they just need to be done, and I'll deal with actually organising myself later. So you have a bit of a special deal for us as well at the moment, don't you, Nicole?
I do, yes. So I've put together a little bit of a time management activation plan. So it's a 3-week process, and we have a look at how you're working at the moment. We put together some proposals and some suggestions on where you can improve things and then help you implement it. So obviously it's virtual at the moment.
Mm.
But yeah, all the details are on the link there. So please get in touch if that's something that you've been struggling with, and I'd be more than happy to help you get organized.
Fantastic. There is
Okay.
no one better on the planet to help. And
Thank
she's super
you.
nice as well. It helps if you're
Oh,
nice, doesn't it?
it does. And I love it, and I just want everybody to, experience what it's like being organized. It's just so refreshing. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. There is another way to live. She's living
there is.
it.
Yeah.
Well, it's so great, Nicole. Thank you so much for sharing these amazing tips with us. There's so
My
much
pleasure.
value in this, 15 minutes that's going to make a massive difference to just so many people. So I'm really grateful for your time today.
Oh, my absolute pleasure. It was
All right.
enjoyable. I love chatting with you every time.
Let's do it every day.
Yay!
Podcast coming soon. All right. Thanks
All
so
good.
much, Nicole. We'll see you another
My
time.
pleasure.
All right.
Speak to you
Bye.
soon. Bye, everyone.